Hey man, let's cut through all the noise and strip away the illusions for a moment. There's a hard truth that most guys never want to face, and unfortunately, many only realize it when it's too late. You can buy her flowers, whisk her away on dream vacations, support her wildest ambitions, solve every problem she brings to you, and give her everything she could possibly want in this world. And still, none of it guarantees her loyalty. None of it guarantees that she'll truly love you. None of it guarantees that she'll give you her heart and soul, because here's the brutal truth. Women aren't loyal to your generosity. They're not loyal to your good intentions or the things you do for them. Actions alone don't secure the deep emotional bond that keeps a woman invested in a man. Women are loyal to one thing and one thing only: how you make them feel. And not just sometimes or once in a while, but consistently, relentlessly, and deeply, emotionally, internally. This is the uncomfortable truth that most nice guys refuse to hear, yet it's the reality that quietly shatters so many hearts without a word. You can be the provider, the protector, the dream guy who checks every box on paper and still watch her walk away like none of it ever mattered. You can be the man who bent over backwards, the one who was always there, always answering her texts instantly, always forgiving her mistakes, always fixing every problem. And yet, she'll leave you for the guy who did none of that, but made her feel something powerful. Because to her, feelings are the currency of connection. Loyalty isn't something dictated by logic or reason. It's fueled by emotional intensity. If your presence in her life stops making her feel alive, seen, desired, or excited, she will start to drift. Maybe she won't physically leave right away, but emotionally, she's already somewhere else. She's lost in a place where you can't reach her anymore. This is exactly why you often see guys who treat women like absolute queens, the ones who go out of their way to be kind, supportive, and attentive, getting cheated on by men who barely even pick up the phone or respond to a text. It's not because women want to be mistreated or disrespected. Far from it. The truth lies deeper and is a lot more complex. What women truly crave is emotional intensity, and sometimes the unpredictable, confident, raw masculine energy they get from a man who isn't always available creates a powerful emotional high that often outweighs the comfort and security of stability. If your version of stability is just surface level, if your kindness feels safe but lacks any real masculine edge, depth, or passion, then no matter how perfect you look on paper, she's going to emotionally detach. It's not about the things you do or the favors you perform. Women are loyal not to deeds, but to how your energy makes them feel about themselves in your presence. And here's the harsh reality. The more you do simply to be liked, to please her, or to hold on to her, the less attractive you actually become. When your actions come from a place of fear, fear of losing her, fear of upsetting her, or fear of being alone, she senses it. It's like an invisible alarm going off in her subconscious, and nothing repels the feminine more quickly than a man who gives from insecurity because she doesn't want your help or your favors. What she truly wants, what she craves deeply, is your centeredness, your unwavering strength and confidence. She wants to feel something genuine, raw, and real when she's around you. If your value is tied to what you do for her, your actions, your constant efforts, your doing, rather than who you are, your presence, your essence, your calm authority, then you're already running on borrowed time. Because real loyalty and connection come from being, not doing. You could pay her bills, cover every expense, and still find yourself disrespected. You could plan every date down to the smallest detail, put in all the effort imaginable, and still end up being ghosted without a word. You could show up 100%, invest your time, energy, and heart fully, and yet watch her invest her emotions in a man who offers her nothing but a challenge, unpredictability, or even just distance. Why does this happen? Because what really drives a woman's loyalty is not the material things you provide, not the practical solutions you offer, but what she feels deep inside when she's with you. Women naturally chase the man who stirs their emotions, the one who triggers their passion, excitement, and emotional waves, not the man who simply solves their problems. This is a reality that can be painful to accept. You might spend years bending over backward to please her, doing everything right, only to hear the words, "I don't feel the same anymore." That's not a reflection of your worth or a failure on your part, but it is your responsibility to understand what truly keeps a woman emotionally invested and loyal. Quick break. Close your eyes for a second. Picture her, the girl you've always wanted. Feel what it would be like to actually have her. Now open your eyes, because here's the truth. Right now, you're invisible to her. You're getting outcompeted by guys with more money, better looks, higher status, and stronger game. You're playing a rigged game, and you're losing. But I've spent the last 35 years mastering this, studying, testing, and finally finding the secrets to get the girls I always wanted. You want to stop getting ignored? You want her chasing you? Then you need to wake up and act. Click the link in the comments if you are truly committed and take the first step toward becoming that guy. Few spots left. Be fast or miss out your last chance to make her yours. Let's get back to it. You have to let go of the misconception that doing more means being loved more. You have to stop believing that loyalty is something you can earn through constant overgiving, endless favors, or by always being available. It isn't. True loyalty is earned through emotional polarity, through your presence, and through the energy you bring into the relationship. A woman connects with a man on an emotional level. She stays where she feels intensity, passion, unpredictability, and growth. These aren't things you can buy or fake by performing certain actions. You can't schedule your way into her heart or checklist your way into her loyalty. This kind of connection is created by standing fully in your masculine essence, unapologetically. Not by trying to please her or constantly accommodate her, but by simply being you, confident, grounded, and true to yourself. The guys who constantly overcompensate, the ones who treat their girlfriend like a princess from day one, often do it out of a place of fear. Fear that if they don't move fast enough or give enough, she'll lose interest or walk away. They try to lock her down early, thinking that by showering her with attention, gifts, and affection, they'll secure her loyalty forever. But here's the ironic truth. The more you try to hold on tightly and do everything to keep her, the faster she'll begin to test your limits. She'll start pulling back emotionally, questioning why you seem so eager, so available, so willing to bend over backwards. And over time, that eagerness can quickly turn into boredom. Women don't want a servant, a doormat, or a man who's constantly at their beck and call. What they want is a man, a real man, who doesn't flinch in the face of uncertainty or emotional waves, a man who leads with calm, grounded energy, who carries himself with quiet confidence, and who doesn't hand over everything up front like he's trying to win a competition or buy her love. The man she stays loyal to isn't the one who's always there, always available, always agreeing. It's the one who is emotionally sovereign, a man who is steady, mysterious, and carries a strong presence that challenges her in the best way. This isn't about playing games or manipulating feelings. It's about having a clear purpose, self-respect, and unshakable standards. It's about knowing your worth and being willing to walk away if that worth isn't being honored or reciprocated. When a man stands firm in this way, he creates a magnetic energy that draws her in, keeps her intrigued, and commands respect. That's the kind of man women naturally feel loyal to, not because of what he does, but because of who he is. That's exactly what triggers her deep, unwavering loyalty. Not the list of things he does or the favors he performs, but the way he makes her feel when she's in his presence. The complex mix of emotions, feeling safe yet excited, secure yet uncertain, truly seen yet mysteriously intrigued, all at the same time. This is where so many men get it wrong. They confuse giving with value. They believe that just because they did something kind or showed up consistently, it automatically means they've earned her heart. But kindness and presence alone don't guarantee emotional connection. Just because you were there for her doesn't mean she feels something real for you. Women don't connect with what's logical or practical. They connect with what moves them on a deeper emotional level. To truly capture her loyalty, you have to move her emotionally. That's the foundation of memory, attachment, and ongoing desire. It's what makes her choose you again and again. Not because you gave her something material, but because simply being around you makes her feel alive in ways she can't get anywhere else. Think about it for a second. How many times have you seen the guy who gives the least, who's not always available, who doesn't bend over backwards, end up receiving the most devotion and passion from a woman. It doesn't seem to make sense at first glance, but once you understand that women are loyal to emotional experiences, not resumes or checklists of actions, it all falls into place. The man who's unpredictable in just the right way, who makes her laugh from the heart, who's deeply focused on his own life and passions, and who isn't constantly trying to please or gain approval. That's the guy who creates emotional waves that she can't resist. He stirs something inside her, and those emotional highs become addictive. That's the real currency of connection and loyalty. And those emotional waves, they're addictive. She can't stop thinking about him. She craves his energy like a drug, feels those butterflies in her stomach every time he's near, or even just crosses her mind. That's what creates loyalty. That's what keeps her chasing, wanting more, coming back again and again. It's never about just being nice or ticking off a list of polite gestures. It's about being truly impactful, making a lasting emotional impression that resonates deep within her. Now, don't get this twisted. This doesn't mean you should mistreat women or shut down emotionally. It doesn't mean becoming cold, distant, or disrespectful. What it means is you stop relying solely on good deeds, favors, and constant effort to win her over. Instead, you start cultivating something far more powerful: presence, power, and clear direction. You become the man who gives when he wants to give, not because he's desperate to be liked or afraid to lose her. You become the man who can walk away without a second thought, who doesn't over-explain or justify himself when she tests boundaries. You become the man who holds his frame steady no matter what comes his way, the one who remains calm, confident, and unwavering when she pushes, doubts, or tries to rattle him. That's when she feels something real, something undeniable. That's when respect grows naturally, not because of what you do, but because of who you are deep down. The man she stays loyal to is the one who never folds under pressure, the one who doesn't bend his principles or change his opinions just to avoid conflict or keep the peace. He's the man who can face her shifting moods, her moments of doubt, frustration, or vulnerability without taking it personally or losing his composure. To her, he feels like a steady rock in the middle of her emotional storm, a grounding force she can always rely on. He's far from perfect, but what matters most is that he's anchored. He knows who he is, he's consistent with himself, and he holds space for both her and himself no matter what chaos surrounds them. This kind of stability, this unwavering emotional consistency is what builds deep, long-term loyalty. It's not about the grand gestures or transactional efforts, the gifts or favors you accumulate over time. If she's only with you for what you do, if her affection is tied to your actions alone, then the moment someone else offers more, she'll walk away without hesitation. But if she's with you because of how you make her feel, because you've become her emotional safe haven, her source of excitement, her anchor in uncertainty, then no amount of money, gifts, or external effort from another man can ever replace that bond. That connection, that loyalty, is forged not by transactions, but by emotional truth, by the way you show up as yourself consistently, especially when life gets tough. This is the reality that most men simply don't understand. They believe loyalty can be won through external effort alone, through gifts, favors, grand gestures, and constant service. But true loyalty isn't something you earn by checking boxes or accumulating points. It's something you build and maintain through genuine emotional connection. And that connection, it's born from grounded, authentic, masculine energy. It doesn't come from doing favors or performing acts of service out of obligation. It comes from presence, being fully there in the moment, purpose, knowing why you're showing up, and power, the quiet strength that commands respect without shouting. Women aren't impressed by effort that lacks edge or authenticity. You could write the most beautiful poems, plan flawless dinners, and send thoughtful good morning texts every single day, yet still leave her feeling distant. Why? Because if she doesn't feel that underlying tension, that spark of mystery, that unpredictable pull, she starts to feel smothered rather than desired. It's not that you're doing something wrong, it's that you're doing too much of what doesn't move her emotionally. Real attraction, the kind that builds deep loyalty, thrives in emotional polarity. the dynamic interplay between masculine and feminine energy. And polarity only exists when you remain anchored in your masculine essence, confident without arrogance, calm without indifference, unshaken by outside forces, and most importantly, not trying to prove your worth, but simply embodying it naturally. If you take away only one thing from everything I've shared, let it be this. A woman's loyalty isn't tied to your actions or what you do for her. It's anchored deeply in her emotions. The way you consistently make her feel safe, cherished in her femininity, desired on a visceral level, emotionally alive and activated, that's what makes her chase you, commit fully, and respect you without question. But the moment you shift from simply being to constantly doing, trying to prove your worth through endless actions, you change the energy entirely. You become predictable, passive, and less intriguing. You lose the mystery and spark that originally drew her in. Over time, you become less desirable in her eyes. It's not a fair game, but it's the raw truth of emotional nature and human connection. You have two choices. Either accept this reality and learn how to lead with emotional presence and grounded confidence, or ignore it and end up blindsided by heartbreak and confusion. So stop trying to impress her. Stop attempting to buy her love with gifts, constant attention, or favors stacked like loyalty points on a credit card. Stop obsessing over managing your frame, controlling your life, or manufacturing energy just to please her. Instead, let your presence do the heavy lifting. Let your silence carry more weight than your efforts ever could. Let your quiet strength carve out a space where her loyalty can naturally grow and flourish, without force, without manipulation, simply through the power of who you are. You don't win her over by working harder or trying to outdo yourself with endless efforts. You win her by standing taller, by standing firm in your identity, your values, and your presence. This is the crucial point where so many men stumble. They mistake loyalty for obligation. They get caught up in the mindset of, after everything I've done for her, how could she possibly walk away? But that's not how her mind or heart operates. She doesn't keep a mental ledger, tallying up every favor, every text, every sacrifice. Instead, she measures how she feels right now when she's with you, the emotional state you create in her presence. That's why women can often forget the past so quickly. Emotions exist in the present moment. What matters most is how you show up for her today, right now. You have to remain emotionally present, fully engaged with the here and now, not clinging to old memories, past grievances, or trying to guilt her into staying through reminders of what you've done. The secret is simple but profound. Be the man who makes her feel something real, something alive and undeniable. That's how you keep her. Not through force, not through manipulation, but through genuine emotional impact. The man who truly understands this becomes unbreakable. He stops overgiving, stops chasing validation, and refuses to be swayed or manipulated by the fickle tides of female attention. Instead, he turns inward and builds himself up, solidifying his frame until it becomes unshakable. His life becomes magnetic, drawing people in without effort. His energy becomes intoxicating, a force that women can't help but feel and respect. They're drawn to him, not because of what he does, but because of who he is at his core: steady, confident, self-assured, and irresistibly authentic. That's exactly the kind of man women stay loyal to, even when life gets messy, when challenges come crashing in, when everything else seems uncertain. It's not about the grand gestures or the long list of things you've done for her. It's about the unshakable core of who you are that holds steady no matter what. So, the next time you catch yourself wondering why she's pulling away despite all the effort, the gifts, and the attention you've poured in, stop. Just pause. Stop chasing the answer outside yourself and instead turn inward to observe the emotional climate between you. Ask yourself the hard questions. Have you been giving from a place of genuine abundance, where you feel fulfilled and whole on your own? Or have you been giving from a place of need, desperation, or fear of loss? Are you leading with authentic purpose and strength, or are you performing for approval and validation? Are you truly the source of her emotional spark, the one who ignites her passion and curiosity? Or have you become just another caretaker who keeps things running but doesn't stir her soul? Be brutally honest with yourself. And from that honesty, make a conscious choice to realign with your true core, the place inside you where your power lives, where your confidence and presence come from naturally. Because at the end of the day, women don't care about the number of favors you do or the lengths you go to please them. What truly matters is how they feel when they are with you. So focus on making her feel something real, something unforgettable, not by losing yourself in her needs or desires, but by standing so firmly and authentically in who you are that she never wants to let go. That kind of grounded presence creates a loyalty that can't be bought or forced. It's not something you work to earn. It's something you become by simply being the man who naturally inspires it. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. If this message spoke to you or gave you something to think about, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new drop. I've got more real talk, more growth, and more power coming your way. So stay locked in. And if you're going through something right now, just remember, your silence can say more than 1,000 words ever could. Take care of yourself, keep rising, and I'll catch you in the next one.